Hello and welcome to Club Wisdom 8. Let's talk about soldiers. I don't normally talk about soldiers very often. I want to talk about what soldiers I think are worth using. I think this is going to be a big one. I think this is a question I've avoided for a long time, mostly because I only used a select few soldiers, but I think we can start to talk about all of them now, considering that I have looked into them a bit more thanks to the division of the faction arena. Okay, so let's begin with Roiam. Okay, so we start with Roiam. Here we are. So we have 6 soldiers. As I'm now a user of Roiam, I can tell you which ones I like, and it's the first point is normally I choose based on soul weapons. So soul weapons normally come first, but if they don't and you're just choosing soldiers in general, then if I'm going for Roiam, I'd probably pick the Roiam swordsman for the tankiness. I think the boost to morale giving you... I don't think I care about the attack, but what I care about is the defense, and increasing by 50%, 10 seconds, and cooldown 30. And I believe it increases. I'm not going to look at the increases and all that, but I do like that. There's just not enough tankiness to most soldiers in this game, so Roiam does have that. Admirable. What else do I like? I like the Roiam wizards because they're on horses. Who else is? Which other wizards are on horses? I can't remember. I don't think there's no wizard or there's no magician that makes an impact unless it's from the Yaksha, which I would have to look at in more detail. No, not even Yaksha. No, Yaksha doesn't even have horse. So it's very special for this, but how you're going to use this wizard, I mean, in Temple it would be wonderful, but it depends how you're going to use it. So this is quite special. Why is it special to have a wizard like this? Because you're going to get the what are you going to get? Where's the movement speed? Can't even see it. Movement speed. Oh, there. You get you get 1.5 movement speed. I mean, that's quite amazing. If you look at a different wizard, like take Yaksha and take a different one, and see the movement speed is 1. Now the movement speed of 1.5 is quite a big deal if you know how to use it. Either way, it's not going to help you in arena, but again it would help you in Temple. So think carefully. Roiam healer is my favourite healer in the game, mainly not necessarily because of the amount of recovery, but because of the range of the recovery. Like some healers, like you'll see the orcs. Orcs have the strongest healers, right? So the recovery here, recovers HP of one of your units. Oh, yeah, sorry, because of the cooldown. So, sorry, 210%, okay, of magic attack. Cooldown 3.5 seconds. That's a straight up powerful, crazy cooldown. 2.5 seconds. Like, what's her cooldown? 6 seconds. Yeah, so I mean, if you calculate it overall, I mean it's pretty cool, but the range really is awful on the orcs. So I think overall I've always liked the Roiam healer. But if we look at the healer on the Yaksha, so now we've got Yaksha, so let's see, what can the... Is it the Shaman, is it? Okay, so 318%, 5.3 seconds. I mean the calculation is something so stingy about this calculation. Yeah, sure, it's probably better by a tiny bit, but the way, I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean, I haven't checked out the range, but the way they put it at 318 is very strange. So let's not get caught up in it. Roiam. I like the swordsman. I think the wizards are cool. I think the knights are pretty good too. I do like the knights, but yeah. So charges accelerate some movement speed, dealing 400% damage and knocking them back. I do like them with the soul weapon, but in general, the best thing I like about them is the Roiam swordsman. Do I like the crossbowmen? Yeah, I think they're alright. I think everything's alright about this group. Fires an arrow, 300, physical damage. Yeah, and with a soul weapon, it's nice. I mean, they're pretty cool. Do I like the spearmen? No, not really. Not really. No. Do I? I mean, their focus, yeah, is on physical damage, but I don't want to send them in for physical damage when I can just use an archer. I want someone who's going to tank. And I want a holy trinity, you know. I want a tank. Yeah, this guy he fulfills a bit of both, but I mean, I just want the tank and I want the archer. So generally speaking, or I want the tank and I want the wizard. So generally speaking, these three are going to be my best. Okay, next, let's move on to orcs. Wolf riders, they're not bad, but again, I wouldn't use them. Now the key is which of these three, I mean Orc Archer, Orc Spearman and Berserker, I mean unlike others, like they have 7 to choose from. So are you going to use a Warrior, are you going to use a Berserker, or are you going to use a Spearman? I always forget what to use. I always think because he's got a shield, the Warrior, that I'll use the Warrior, but that's not always the case, because yeah, his focus is on physical damage, but it stuns. But again, it's not very good for defense, you know. Although he has a ranged evasion, it's really a difficult one here. But I think am I using Berserker? Increases attack speed, increases movement speed, increases HP recovery upon hit by 30%. So all I care about with these guys are do they will they heal? Is there any healing? Is there anything? Yeah, so I don't care about the attacking and stuff of these guys because they're all trash in general. Apart from the Orc Archer. The Orc Archer is definitely the best thing about these guys, or overall. Orc Spearman, again, yeah, you know, a lot of damage, critical power, but when you have the archers, like, they're just the winner of the team. Orc Archers are brilliant. However, the Werebeast has ruined them. Otherwise, these guys would have been at the top. So I invested heavily into orcs in the past. The magicians, there's no point in having the magician because their point is poison, right? Like, what is it? Fire, dark energy, dealing, yeah, half energy, half HP recovery or something. So it's got this kind of thing about halving the recovery or whatever. But the Orc Archer has the poison arrow. So you know, it can damage every 3 seconds, reducing their movement. So again, it can debuff them as well in a different way, and you know, they cause some major damage. So I do like Orc Archers. Yeah, so back to these guys. Again, I like the Berserker, but generally maybe I just like the Berserker because I have the soul weapon for the Berserker. Let's double check. I think I can even remember it. It's that one, isn't it? Yeah, I can even remember it because I get so many of them. When taking damage, reduces melee damage received from enemies by 20% for 7 seconds. I only need to look at the first. It's not like who's going to be investing further than that. So yeah, so normally, yeah, I do like, if you want tanks, maybe the Berserker is a nice one because of the soul weapon. With the soul weapon for the Orc Warrior, because, you know, he has ranged evasion stuff, would that be any good? For a start, I'm wondering what one is it? Is it that one? No, Wolf Rider. Don't want to be here all day, but it's this one. Orc Warrior. Okay, so Orc's regeneration, when your HP drops to 70% or less, it restores. I mean, that's really cool as well. So it makes both of them pretty cool in one way, but I mean he's just gonna die anyway. He's not gonna like get any chance to regen. So I'd probably go for a Berserker, but yeah, maybe you'd prefer that. So it's really hard on picking those two. I'd just go with the soul weapons that you have. Oops. Yeah, So anyway, so that's the orcs finished. Next up, elf. Elves are interesting. A lot of people are going with them these days. I mean, the elven fairy archers, they've changed everything and they are great. No joke, these guys are dangerous as hell. Very impressed. Soul weapon, absolutely dangerous. I mean, if you have enough soul weapons, I mean, these guys could be, yeah, I mean, these guys could be some of the best on the planet. Everything else, I mean, elf healers, they're not bad. It's just 330, 5.5. I mean, I just remember, you know, their range of healing. It's all about range of healing, and I think it's not bad. The Cavs used to be like some of the best. The cavalry units were the best. They were very speedy, if I remember. Yeah, movement speed accelerates, dealing 400% damage, knocking them back. I mean, you can see when they flash up in the fight, they're quite interesting. I think their soul weapon's not bad, but again, other units like Werebeast has kind of ruined it. The Blade Dancer used to be the best in the game for attack because it was a double hit. Yeah, so I think they're the only ones that can wield 2 swords. Increases your attack speed. Yeah, so these guys were attack speed based. So if you had like good attack speed, like, yeah, it would be pretty impressive. I don't know how to explain. Yeah, and they have extra movement speed, but they were the choice like over a year ago to use for the Korean server and stuff. But again, not anymore. I mean, the point being is these guys just don't have any tanks. You have to rely on heroes such as Aaron, so you can't really do much. Wind Mage, no. I mean, they all look cool when they're awakened, but no. Elf Archer, yeah, it was alright, but not anymore because we have the Fairy Archer. So in general, there's not much on offer from the Elf, but I mean, some people just have like, you know, 16 of those. So that's it really. I mean, that could theoretically be enough. Amazon. We all know the Amazon Magician is a great one to begin with. And you can use a bunch of healers to help. Now, the Spear Flyer is very nice because it focuses on crit rate and crit damage. So I would say, again, could this Spear Flyer be better than the Elf? Than the Elf Fairy Archer? This is something very interesting because, you know, this is just focusing on physical damage. So let's just have a quick look at the... Is that the Elven Archer? Yeah, Elven Archer. Crit rate goes up by 12%. When your HP is physical attack, crit damage. When Flying Gorillas activates, increase your physical attack. So physical attack and crit rate and crit damage. I mean, very, very nice. Very, very nice. But personally, I think what has been missed has been this one. I do think this one is very interesting. I mean, the point is, who's going to be able to get hold of the weapon for this? Is it this one? Glam's? No, it's a Glam, isn't it? So it's that one, Amazon Spear. So again, you get the physical attack, and then you get the crit damage. Then you get the physical attack, and then you get the crit rate. So probably the Elven Fairy Archer might have a better soul weapon, but in general, this is not bad either. I mean, I think they're pretty even matched. I'd like to compare one thing. Let's look at the crit damage of 50%. Let's look at the movement speed. So 1.6 and a crit damage of 50. Alright, so let's go back and have a look at the Elf. 1.4, but crit damage of 50 at least. But 1.4. I think I personally think it's underestimated for the Amazon. But other things that I think come into play here would be not the is it active skill? Faction. Where's the faction here? This is ridiculous. I can't see anything. Oh, sorry. Well, of course, I'm looking at a soldier. I'm thinking of the faction for Nariel. Like, I'm thinking, yeah, because of Nariel, it's changed things, and the hero. But Amazon doesn't have a flyer hero yet, so that doesn't help for Amazon yet. If Amazon do get an interesting flyer hero, everything's going to change. So Amazon Spear Flyer is very, very special. The mages are very slow, so at the beginning very good. Maybe later this is going to change everything. So what else do we have here? The Amazon Riders are, I would say they're average. No one's really going to use them, but they're average. What about these? I mean, these chaks are pretty cool. They could cause trouble. I mean, I think I've seen them with I've seen whales use them and like put full soul weapons into them, and I think they did cause a lot of trouble. So look at that. Kali's Wish increases Amazon's chak range. Yeah, so the range is a big thing. Increases range duration by an additional 8 and 8. I mean, I think for a whale, if a whale had these, they might cause a bit of trouble. But again, it's difficult. So who are you going to pick out of a Whipper or a Glam? I personally, I think it's a hard one. Again, yeah, I like it. I like the spear that it electrocutes, but again, you have a magician to do that. So I think this one's out. No shield either. I do think the Whipper is okay. It slowly pulls them towards you. I think it's okay because of the soul weapon, but I don't remember the Whipper's soul weapon, what it looks like. Ugh, I don't want to go through all of them. That one, because it's a whip. Naga hallucination. If your HP drops to 30% or less, resets cooldown of enchanting skill, and then incoming AoE damage down. So again, it's a bit like an Anna, which is not very good. So I'm going to say from looking at them, you'd go with no one. They've got no one to defend, unlike the elves who have Aaron as the hero. But who? I mean, what kind of hero does Amazon have? What kind of tank does Amazon have? Zero. They got. Who do they have? I'm thinking, like, who is supposed to be the tank for these guys? It's pretty sad, isn't it? There's no one.